Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. The most important lesson in Deuteronomy, in my Deuteronomy playlist rather, is that people need to obey God through me because I must be right and other people must be wrong. Now why? Well, Isaiah 16:5 talks about how Christ will be speeding and seeking the cause of righteousness and justice. And Isaiah 5:16 says that the Lord is exalted by his acts of justice, and the righteous God is proved holy by his righteous acts. We see in Deuteronomy 28, which is something we're going to read in the next video. I'll probably do it in several parts. 28 verse 7, it says God blesses those who obey God through him. Is what it's about, right? Blessings for obedience, and then the next part is curses for disobedience, right? So it says that your enemies will rise up against you, they'll be defeated. They'll come at you from one direction and flee from you in seven, right? Seven, the number of purity, the seven trumpets, the seven bowls, the seven seals, seven angels, seven lampstands, seven thunders, seven stars. So seven is the number of purity, it's the number of completion. It's also the number in Deuteronomy 28 of victory for God and the defeat of his enemies. You also have the seven deadly sins in popular culture. So they'll be defeated in terms of them seeking refuge in the principles that cause them to be disgraced and defeated in reality and truth, and their souls marshaled to hell. So we see how Deuteronomy 28 is very much centered around verse 7. We see that the end of the Bible, right? Whether you look at it from the point of view of Isaiah 65 and 66 or Revelation, is very much about this triumph of God. The heavenly warrior defeats the beast. So now pay close attention here. I wanted to make this much shorter. I wanted to zoom in on this part. This is the main reason I made this video here. How is God proved holy? By his righteous acts, right? So it starts off saying that God is trying to communicate to people, right? And he's trying to show you that he's actually God, not just something in your imagination, not just, a false idol, not just a sage or a priest or a teacher of the law or a Pharisee or a Sadducee or anyone else trying to use some kind of trick to fool you. So how is God proven to be God, all good, all knowing, all powerful? By his righteous acts. This is why I must be right, and everyone who's not obeying God through me must be wrong. They must be wrong to commit to a path of cheating me out of my right to lead, wittingly or otherwise. Just because you don't know that you're wrong doesn't mean you're not wrong. They are wrong. What they're doing is wrong. Because in reality, it is not right to cheat the top martial artist ever possible out of his right to lead when you have no counterargument. You can't just say, well, this priest over there had, a feeling, and he's made a lot of money, or he's well established in the community. So what? Herod made a lot of money. Herod was well established. So was Caiaphas. That means nothing. Caesar was. Pilate. So what? You can't just say, well, I was taught this. You and the other 50,000 denominations. That is a cowardly and pathetic argument. At first they came at me from the direction of, hey, let's oppose them. And they hide from debate. They hide in their pathetic spirits. They seek refuge in their denominations with their pathetic spirits, and they hide. And I've been making videos for 17 years, since 2009. And I've been saying the whole time that you need to rally to me. And at some point I made it crystal clear by 2012 or so. And instead of debating me publicly about this, they resorted to fuming me and poisoning me, changing the way I look, changing the way I sound, ironically to sound like them, because people don't believe them. Because God is not exalted through them, so they're using every trick they can use because they know that it's not right for them to be in charge. God is exalted by his acts of justice. That's how we know. It's not saying that God needs to be exalted. God is God. But when other people are making their case to you, how do you know who's in God's spirit? Well, who's righteous? Who's just? Right? You know them by their fruit. After my flesh dies, can somebody establish something worthwhile on this planet? No. Because they went around the world colonizing. Because while the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil, like it says in Isaiah 57, they were just going along to get along. They were slacking their work. One who's slacking his work, whose brother to one who destroys. Why did they carry their cross? Hebrews, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood. I'm the top martial artist ever possible. Why are you people still alive? Why aren't you rallying to me? It is impossible for God to be exalted through the acts of other people after my flesh dies because they cheated me out of my right to lead. Unless in a sense they obeyed God through me, but no one should reproduce no matter what. Story for another day. It's impossible. Imagine BB saying, okay, well, the top martial artist is gone and we helped suppress him the whole time. But now we have brought this thing to fruition. All those people, all those children that were killed, all the people who were raped and abused by the IDF and so on and so forth. Same with America, same with the West, same with every country in Africa, in Asia, in the Americas, in the Middle East, you name it, islands, you name it, the whole world. How can they say that their country can be exalted? You were sitting there like a coward while the righteous are screened out. And you're building on that. And you're like, hey guys, we are chosen now, apparently. Works for me. The top martial artist is gone. Okay, you cannot be established with God that way. And God cannot be exalted through that way because you are the offspring of those who screened out the prophets. And now I am the top martial artist ever possible. I'm here. I'm 44 years old. And you've been shunning me every step of the way. Therefore, God is proved holy through me. And the end is proven to come through me. That is righteous. That is just. Whether the rest of the world knows it or not. Whether they're hooked to a machine and don't know it. Whether they don't know it because they don't know about this case and they're an idiot. Whether they do know about this case and they don't know it because they're an idiot. One way or another, they cannot truly be established through their wickedness. And God cannot be proven holy through them in terms of them doing anything righteous because the logic doesn't exist for them to do anything righteous. The Bible isn't about some sage saying, I had a vision and he doesn't know that. It's about universal justice. That's why it says God is known through his acts. God is exalted by his justice. Not by yours or a dream of some scatterbrained Jew in a hippie commune or some soldier in the IDF or some priest in a synagogue or mosque or whatever. By universal justice. That's why I didn't say, look, this is God's justice and this is the difference between this and this, because they just use the word justice because it's universal. We said in Isaiah 58, it says, why don't you do what is universally right? There's no other way to interpret it. So you're not treating the foreigner fairly. How do you treat them fairly? Well, everyone knows. It's universal. It's don't kill someone for no reason, don't rape someone for no reason, so on and so forth. It's universal. The things we can all agree on. And we can all agree that you don't cheat the top martial artist to have his right to lead. After your peoples have been here for 300,000 plus years. The country turned into a technological terror, building on neocolonialism, then turn around and say, we've now established it after Christ is gone. After the top martial artist ever possible is gone. They have no counter-argument here. Because they're playing again mere theater arts. They're in church, God, praise, praise, while they're screening me out. Their praise is detestable. The kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. The Pope trying to confuse things by saying, hey, your prayers over there are detestable. So are the popes. So are the Catholics, the Orthodox, the Protestants, the Jews, the Muslims, you name it. Because wittingly or otherwise, they're cheating me out of my right to lead while they're marrying countless people in their spirits. There's no other way to look at it. None.